name's Georgie. I am Head of Client Development here at Lexxic. Thank you so much for joining us today. This is Neurodiversity Insights, and today I'm with Susan Bartrop. Susan, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, I would. I'm Susan Bartrop, and I'm a coaching psychologist. I have been diagnosed with dyslexia in 2018 at a very mature age.
Fantastic. Would you like to tell us a little bit more about your journey of getting diagnosed?
Yes, I will. I had a very bad schooling, I would say. I left school at 15. I wasn't very good. I knew there was something wrong with me, but I didn't quite know what it was. Mm-hmm. So I did lots of different jobs. I learned to touch type. I took myself on courses, a lot of NVQ courses. I always veered to the practical things. I worked with special needs children, autistic children, for quite a long time. I was a children's nurse. I started off life as a hairdresser. Mm-hmm. And then I qualified as a teaching assistant, a teaching qualification, an assessor's qualification, various things. So, but I always wanted to have a degree. I've got a very high-flying brother, and I wanted letters after my name. So that was my ultimate goal. Didn't know how I was going to get there, but I did. I took psychology, and I enjoyed my psychology, my time at university. I was into everything. And now I'm going on again to do a master's in coaching. So I'm a lifelong learner. I'm definitely a lifelong learner. I don't give up.
And so why did you get diagnosed later in life then? What was your reason for doing so?
Well, as I say, from an early age, I knew there was something not quite right. I was always behind with my writing. Everybody else had finished writing, and I was about 3 sentences behind. So I knew that I was slower than most people. I was always quite near the top of my class, but in my reports it said Susan should try harder. Now that was a real bad thing to write in my report, because I was trying the hardest I could. So after, as I say, I left school, I went into hairdressing, so I'm a qualified hairdresser, and then I did lots of different things, and then I decided to go to university, and I got into university and thoroughly enjoyed it. But I realised that I was struggling a little bit with the academic side, with the reading and the writing and the assessments. So I took myself privately to get a private assessment, and he said yes, I was a dyslexic and I had a spiky profile, whatever spiky profile is. So I told my university, but I was in my 6th year at university, and unfortunately all they could do was give me extra time. I had just in exams, I just had 1 exam left. So when I decided to go and do a postgraduate course, I decided to declare myself with a disability, and they sent me to an educational psychologist, where I was diagnosed with dyslexia, dyscalculia, and what's the other one?
Dyspraxia, ADHD?
ADHD, no, there's another one with the arithmetic.
Dyspraxia. Dyscalculia?
Dyscalculia.
Yeah.
So, and that wasn't a very pleasant experience at all. So, as I say, I was very mature when I was diagnosed, and I'd worked my way and got a 2-1 in psychology, but it was hard work. It was hard going.
And did this change the way you saw yourself when you were diagnosed? Did it change how you saw yourself?
Yes, it did, because I could then accept that there was something wrong. It wasn't just me imagining it. I wasn't thick. I wasn't stupid. I did have a good brain. And I could then laugh at the funny things that I did, like always getting lost. It was a big joke in my house. Oh, where did you land up today? Oh yes, I went round via the M25 the wrong way or something. I always got there, but yes, it might take me a few more miles. And not knowing my right from my left, even though I did do quite a lot of dancing. My fine motor skills, that was pulled up, but I must say I'm quite a good tennis player and a good badminton player, so I did manage to do quite a lot of sport. In fact, sport was my saviour in a way through my life. So I would say to people that think they have dyspraxia, and that includes fine motor, sports and coordination, but do try. If there's something you want to do, you go for it, because you can do it. You really can do it.
Don't give up is the word, I guess.
Yeah. You can do it if you want it badly enough. Yeah, we are, dyslexics are different. We think our brain goes from the right hand side and goes all the way around, so that's why it takes us longer to do things. But we're great in thinking outside the box. We have strengths that other people don't have. Makes us a bit quirky as well. I always give people a good laugh.
And in relation to your neurodiverse condition, have you ever had any bad experiences in relation to it? And if so, how did you overcome the bad experiences?
The bad experiences, I think that through life, per se, we all get bad experiences. So I think we have to understand ourselves, take time out, and come to terms with ourselves. I had one, as I say, where, because I was older, perhaps being told of all your faults when you assess over 2 hours made me feel absolutely stupid. And that wasn't a good experience at all. Plus, when I came out, I had to do a video for my assessment in front of my class, and I had to get up there and speak, and I was a little bit traumatized, so I made a complete mess of it. So I think that's, out of my whole experiences, that was my recent one and my worst one. Other bits you can just laugh at. You say I'm being silly, or when I couldn't tie my life jacket when I went sailing and I couldn't undo my life jacket, or I tied all the knots round a different way. I just laughed, and everybody laughed with me. I think if you laugh at yourself, that's a great thing. I don't take myself too seriously. I know I do silly things sometimes. And a bit
but that's the quirkiness.
Quirkiness.
Yeah, which is fantastic, which is awesome. And so you've obviously just mentioned negative experiences, but since being diagnosed, what positive experiences have you had? And why is it such a great thing being neurologically different?
Well, you do stand out from the crowd. Doing silly things. No, I think I'm most proud of today. My certificate came, my postgraduate certificate, and it had distinction on it. So that made me proud. And this year I was runner-up in Alumni of the Year. You see, I can't pronounce things. From my university, so that gave me a bit of a lift. So we can achieve. It's never stopped me from achieving. So I just want to tell everybody out there that you can achieve. It will take you longer.
But that's fine.
That's fine. You always get there. I've always got wherever I've wanted to get.
It's about
Determination, grit,
persistence, isn't it?
persistence, tenacity.
All the amazing strengths that you've got, which is incredible, and they're unique strengths as well. So, and useful and those are the strengths actually that are so useful in so many different workplaces and for different jobs.
I do believe that communication is the key, though. Communication with the key in your workplace. By sometimes bosses don't realise what you can do, and if you sound dyslexic, they sometimes. I've had a boss that did undermine me a bit, and I had to sort of say, I can do this, but I would like help with that. And I think that's the way it has to be approached, really. Not keeping your mouth shut and sort of not worrying about saying, can you explain that to me again? Oh, I didn't quite understand that. Will you show me how to do that, please?
Yeah. But this is what I find interesting. There's a lot of people out there who don't ask, who are neurodiverse, and then the secondary problems that come from that is the anxiety and the lack of confidence and the mental health problems. So communicate, as you are right, communication is completely key, and to prevent that. I personally experienced myself, like not disclosing till I was 34. It affected my mental health tremendously. So yeah, I think that's really, really good advice there. Really good advice, Susan. In regards to your neurodiverse condition and anyone who's a little bit worried about getting assessed or thinking, have you got any advice for those people?
Well, from my own experience, I wished I'd done it before. But you have to come to terms with it yourself. You know yourself better than anybody else. So, especially in higher education, if you're going into higher education, there's all the facilities and help there for you. So don't be afraid.
Did you have adjustments then? Did you have any computer software and things similar like that? Or was it just...
I did a work back when I went to my postgraduate. As I say, that was only 2 years ago. I was assessed, they sent me to an educational psychologist, and I had a new computer, I had read and write, I had Dragon, everything to help me. But funny enough, I don't often use it because I feel that I want to develop my own brain. And I think you can over time. I don't know how much research has gone into that, but I'm sure that if I relied too heavily on equipment,
I see what you're saying, especially if you haven't had it the whole of this time. So you've been steadily improving yourself naturally. Yes.
So I think it's there to help you, but your creativeness is you. That's the unique part.
100%. And in relation to after getting diagnosed or prior to getting diagnosed, did you ever question your intelligence?
Oh, frequently. I read a lot, and I read a lot about intelligence, and I found out that it's not only academic. It can be common sense, it can be analytical, it can be practical. So, as I said before, I think I've mentioned it, some people can be super duper off the Mensa scale, intelligent, and have no common sense, or not be practical at all. So we all have different qualities, and our one's being creative. And there are so many entrepreneurs out there that really prove that we do have different qualities.
Yeah, and you can drive from the front. And it's all about innovation, isn't it? And forward thinking, and I said that bigger picture thinking, because I think I mentioned before that the Lexxic founder Nicola James is neurodiverse herself. She's dyslexic and obviously started Lexxic over 13 years ago. So there's many of us out there.
Yeah, many.
I'm not an entrepreneur yet, but they.
I think with entrepreneurs, I did read about Richard Branson, and what he says he does or did was surround himself with people that had the skills that he didn't. And I thought, oh, that's clever. You see, that's clever.
Yeah.
So he can do thinking outside the box while somebody else does the book work. Somebody else does the organising.
And you can see that's why any workforce needs to be diverse, because the strengths within a diverse workforce is so much more beneficial to innovation and growth of the organisation. So, you know, moving forward, it needs to be like, you know, it needs to be that way, really.
Yes. Well, in my when I was the NSS officer, project officer, apparently, did I tell you I completely flunked my interview, my practical. I flew through the interview, that's no problem. But when it came to the practical, I was taken to an office and put in front of the computer, which I don't like computers really, but necessity, and given a test. As soon as I saw this test, I completely blanked, and the lady was very nice and said, oh, you know, just take a little bit longer. I said, I can't do it. My brain froze. I panicked. And I said, I can't do it. I can't do it. She said, yes, you can do it. I said, I can't do it. So anyway, I didn't do it. Well, I did a bit. I think I closed the computer down. I went back home and thought, well, that's that. And they phoned me the same day and said, we'd like you to come and join us.
Amazing.
And I couldn't believe that. And I did check later on, and there were several people with far better qualifications than I was that could use the computer and liked the computer. But my boss said to me that, no, you were the best person for the job.
And what was it? What was your particular strengths that got you that job?
Well, I was leading a team of student ambassadors. So, of course, it was the coaching skills, it was being able to communicate with people, understanding people, and obviously leading them, motivating them. So the other person had all the academic probably skills, all the computer skills, but not the people skills.
And it just shows that actually some jobs can vary, and the most important things are communication and are those strengths that you do have. So
yes.
It goes on quite nicely from that. But do you have any tips for anyone managing a neurodiverse condition in an interview?
Try and get there early. Be prepared. Research the company or whoever you're going to be interviewed with. Just have a little practice and sit down, as I say, go early, make sure you're on time, but not too early. And just be yourself. Be honest, be authentic. You can't be anybody else. You are you.
Yeah.
So, yes, you might be quirky. You might say something that's not quite right. But if it's the job for you, you will get it. You will shine through. Your personality will shine through.
100%. And would you, if you were going into an interview now, would you disclose?
It would depend on whether I was asked. I mean, I think now probably with university there is a box, and because I know I have got a problem, I am dyslexic, I would obviously sign that box, which I did for my third year. I signed that box. I think it's up to the person. It is really up to the person. But on that note, you have to discuss with somewhere, perhaps not in the interview, perhaps if you were accepted for the job, you would have to have a discussion with your manager, because you would need help, and they would need to understand you.
Yeah.
I was very lucky. I had a very good manager that understood me. She would let me work to my strengths, and she helped me because I'm a very visual learner. So, and as I said, I don't like the computer. So she showed me how to do Excel, advanced Excel, and I actually still use it and have remembered it. Because she sat down and did it with me. And she would write me post-it notes to remind me to go to events. So she knew how to handle me.
Yeah.
So I think you do have to declare, most definitely, you got that job. You would have to have conversation and say, oh, and I might need help in certain areas.
And I guess if you were to disclose and you still got the job as well, it shows it's an organisation you'd like to work in, and you'd be willing to accept your neurodiverse condition, and they're happy to adapt or give you, the help that you need. And that's the kind of place you want to work in. As you said before, you're at work a lot. And, if you're working in an organisation that's supportive, fantastic. You can develop as an individual like you have.
Yes, definitely. And you do develop.
Is there any other tips that you'd advise to other neurodiverse individuals that, to help them?
Yes, I would definitely. I found deep breathing a very good way to calm you down. I did this before one of my exams when I got myself in the right old state. And I sat there before going into the exam and I just took some very deep breaths and it calmed me right down. I do a lot of yoga and meditation and that also helps. So that's what a tip. When you feel yourself getting panicky, anxiety, anything like that, take a few breaths, do a little bit of meditation and calm yourself right down, and then you'll be in the right headspace.
No, that's fantastic. I think you're saying that does yoga change and slow your mind down, and meditation?
Yes. I've been doing yoga for over 20 years and it certainly has helped me. It's helped me keep fit as well and supple. So I would recommend it.
Yeah. And did you find you developed from working with that one particular line manager?
Yes, very much so. And we still correspond. We still have a 2-week, and she's about 30 years younger than I am. She said I was the best project officer she's ever had. How about that?
It's amazing. And did she say what particular things and why?
She said that I would use my initiative. I would think outside the box. I'm very good at problem solving. I got on with all the ambassadors really well, all the students really well. They're still on LinkedIn. They still contact me.
Fantastic.
So, she said, I said, well, I'm not very good on the computer. She said, oh, don't worry about that. You learn quite a lot.
No, that's awesome. And I guess, you've had such an array of different jobs over the last, however many years until obviously you were diagnosed. And now you're moving potentially again to further education. Is there anything else that you would advise to individuals that are potentially going into further education or maybe a new job?
New job. Be proud. Be confident that you are you. You are you and nobody else. Embrace your diversity. And I think if you are confident of yourself, it comes through and it will be recognised.
That's perfect. That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for today. You've been incredible, and it's been fantastic to hear more about your life and what you've done so far and what you've got planned for the future. It's awesome. Is there anything else you'd like to leave off for today?
No, I just wish all the neurodiverse people to go out there and do it, whatever they want to do, because we can achieve.
Yeah.
I'm living proof we can achieve.
Yeah, and continue to.
You know, as I say, you just have to be aware of your own capabilities, that it does take longer. Be kind to yourself. You can do it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, thank you so much. You've been fantastic. It's been really lovely meeting you again. And yeah, thank you to everyone watching as well. But I'll see you soon, hopefully.
See you soon.
Take care. Thanks, Susan.
You too. Bye.